Welcome back. This video follows up on calculations, so if you skipped the one before this, I highly recommend you watching that one first. Let's move on to more complex calculations. In the main decision tree, select the Others graph in the Module node. First, we'll make the body of the graph. Rename the starting node to Others. Add an Employees node underneath. After doing that, add two nodes, Warning and List. Under Warning, add Finish as the last node in the graph. You can connect the List node to the last node by drawing a line from the node to the Finish node while holding down the left mouse button. The first node will ask a question about whether or not the buyer will be assisted by third parties with his acquisition. Title it Others. It is a simple yes, no, not null question, but to make the question a bit more specific, you can replace the word buyer with his or her real name. This can be done by writing the name of the variable after a caret, or in other words, the upside down V symbol above the number 6 on your keyboard. The name of the variable is the same as the one used in the previous tutorial, main.buyer.companyname. Because you can use these variables repeatedly throughout your model, remember that, outside of this tutorial, it is better to use short names for them. The decision of which node is next after the Employees node is made with a calculation. First, ask the question if the buyer has other employees than just his or her legal representative. You can use the same technique as earlier to give it a more professional and detailed look. Select a yes or no, not null answer template. Now add a calculation. Name it Include. This calculation will combine two answers into one, making it easier to use it in further conditions. For this calculation, you will need to check the Advanced option in Conditions. The first half of the condition exists out of the answer yes to the question from the Others node. So the variable selected has to be others.others, and it should be equal to the value yes. If the variable is not named Others, browse back to the name that you've given it and correctly rename it. Instead of clicking OK, click Add to Condition. The condition now appears in the Advanced area, where we can make the formula as difficult as we want it to be. For this example, we will have to add an OR into the condition. Before clicking the OR button, we have to select the second half of the condition. This is the answer yes to the Employees question. Once having selected that Employees equals yes, click the OR into Condition button. Click OK. For the calculation, click the three-dotted button. Select Value and type the word yes. Click OK and your calculation is ready. Let's recap what we have just done. The meaning of the condition you have just created is that only if the user has answered yes to either one of the two questions, the name Include will equal yes. We have made this calculation for the graph to go on to the right branch of the decision tree. To implement this, double-click the List GoTo in the Actions window. Click the three-dotted button and you will see the Conditions window again. This time, we are not using an advanced condition. You just have to select the Include variable and make sure it equals yes. Now, the application will only move on to the List node if the user has answered yes to either the Employees or Others question. Now that you have a condition for the List GoTo, let's make one for the remaining Warning GoTo. For this, we will again need a calculation to begin with. Before looking at the condition, you can already name it Include and insert a no in the calculation text box. The purpose of this condition is to make the decision tree move on to the Warning node only if the user has responded with a no to both the Others and Employees question. So first, we add Others equals no to the condition. Instead of inserting an OR into the condition, we select Employees equals no and click the AND into Condition button. Now, the condition will work if the user has answered no to both questions. All there is left to do is add the condition to the Warning GoTo in the Actions window, by going through similar steps as with the last condition. This video is one of the many examples of what you can do with calculations. Remember, you can make them as complex as you want them to be. Finish things up by titling others third parties. Make sure that the employees node ends up underneath without a title. The next part of the tutorial will run you through the remainder of the non-disclosure agreement, in which you can practice everything you have learned so far.